Emanations at the Perth Institute of Contemporary Arts is the first, and possibly overdue, solo exhibition by Italian-born and Berlin-based Rosa Barba in Australia. With critically acclaimed 20-year career behind him, he opened a major exhibition at the Tate Modern in London week before his PICA tour. Emanations is an overview of the last 10 years of his practice. Barba collapses the venue and the cinema together. This is not emptiness, as the lofty concepts of spatiality, or spatial practice coined in art school, but emptiness, as our eternal curiosity when we look at the stars. It is as if space and cinema have always sprung from the same human impulses, linking seemingly disparate ideas. This is immediately felt as soon as you enter the embodiments. Barba uses 35mm film projectors as sculptures on a scale reminiscent of the 1960s space race. Drawn by the pulse features a modified projector with celluloid film click-click-click that enters the projector horizontally over a lightbox surface, vertically through metal gears, and circling in an endless loop. The wall is illuminated by a short film of hand-annotated photographic plates, scribbled mathematical equations, dust-like explosions on glass with measurements of light captured from stars, seemingly blank S, with a circled speck. Reminiscent of avant-garde filmmaking techniques of 1970s, work causes viewer to hypnotically immerse viewer in projection tools as well as film itself. Endless analog frames on celluloid are transformed into moving work on the loop through a sculptural mechanism that appears to weigh hundreds of kilograms and appears to be transplanted from Cold War idea of outer space. The S that make up Drawn by Pulse are from archives of an all-female astronomy team working at Harvard College Observatory in early 1900s. The archive is associated with Henrietta Swan Leavitt, an astronomer and human computer who discovered a rule for accurately measuring stellar distances through the brightness of stars. It allowed later astronomers to measure distances in the order millions of light years and confirmed the existence of galaxies far beyond our own. Barba is not an astronomer or a human computer. As an artist, she uses material functions, sculpture, and video to evoke a dizzying sense of the emotional impulse behind our curiosity to make sense universe. She draws a historical continuity between Leavitt and her own work. As an artist, we will always find ways to measure and include what feels infinitely great. Emanations is curatorially constructed to reveal not only Barba's reflections on a utopian sense of wonder, but also the dystopian reality of human interventions on Earth. This tension her practice, and in this exhibition, is prescient and isolated city like Perth. The Emanations experience is deeply shaped by its location in a city where ambience is shaped by its geographic distance from elsewhere, stunning natural beauty, and Western Australia's long-standing relationship with the mining and extractive resources industries. Somnium is one of 2 feature films in Emanations. It has no sculptural implications and relies solely on Barba's skills as a filmmaker. A snow-covered and desolate brutalist architectural landscape dominates the work with the distant movements of freighters, cranes and machinery. The film was shot in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, home to Europe's largest port. The title work, Dream, is taken from novel same name written in Latin in 1608 by German astronomer Johannes Kepler, one earliest examples Western science fiction literature. Moon. Somnium's depiction of desolate winter landscape in a 16mm film and synthesis-charged soundtrack expand on Barba's Cold War-era dystopian aesthetic. A voiceover taken from the title novel describes Earth as if it were a strange lunar landscape. He cuts out S of person tending beehives in a polar winter, his face completely covered by bee-suit helmet. It feels like an attempt at rebirth after the end of days. Making use of 17th century historical timelines, as well as 21st century technology, it reveals the continuity of human need to understand space from classical Greece and Rome to the present day. Cold War references remind us that people at the time thought the world was coming to an end, just as it feels apocalyptic today. Another dystopian film work in Emanations is Aggregate States of Matters, filmed in the Peruvian Andes, where glaciers are rapidly retreating. There are s of flawless beaded hats, cloaks and jackets worn by indigenous groups in the Andes, rocky landscapes and soaring water levels, long pipes running through the mountains, bodies of water filled with empty barrels. Mining and industry have also indelibly changed this landscape. The text scrolls through the work English translations of the local people's desire to portray a spiritual return to a now distorted cosmology. Somnium and Aggregate add value to nearly a decade of art production at Emanations. Overwhelming works that highlight our path to self-destruction. The use Western ideas of space from the European Enlightenment in Barba's other work asks how long the seeds this destruction have grown. Despite this, the utopian and dystopian impulses in Emanations make me feel that curiosity can save us. It feels fitting to introduce Barba's work to Australian audiences amidst the colonial architecture of PICA, in the centre of an eerily abandoned urban area. Premiering an exhibition of this calibre is a blow to PICA. Rosa Barba Emanations runs through April 23 at PICA, Perth.